Okay, guys. A very happy afternoon.
Happy afternoon.
Okay. If you have not forgotten, we will do it once and then we will continue. Ready? All of you, please stand. 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 Because after this is full, this will start asking for sleep. So a certain physical exercise will always create our mind activeness. Ready? Steady, go. Happy morning, happy afternoon, happy evening, happy night, happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, happy Friday, happy Saturday, happy Sunday. Happy January, happy February, happy March, happy April, happy May, happy June, happy July, happy August, happy September, happy October, happy November, happy December. Happy summer, happy winter, happy rainy, happy spring. Hands like this. Irrespective of, in spite of whatever the situation is, my happiness is always going to be constant. My confidence will always be high. So please be seated. Today, let us going to discuss a very important skill, what we call interpersonal skills. When sir gave me a call and he told, today you are going to speak not on any of the topics that has already been covered, but you are going to speak about interpersonal skills. The moment he told, he indirectly told, all out for no loss. That means he told me not to speak on any of the topics that has already been covered: leadership skills, stress management, goal setting, confidence building, communication skills. Then he says, don't speak on any of this topic, but speak on interpersonal skills. The very question itself has an answer. All these topics which sir has asked me not to speak about, all this is culmination of one skill set that is put in a bouquet called as interpersonal skills. A little bit, because my topic is interpersonal skills, I will not get into intrapersonal skills. When I say interpersonal skills, as we have already discussed, it is between two individuals. Inter means something which comes in between two individuals. Sometimes it can be one-to-one, sometimes it can be one to a group, sometimes it can be one to many, sometimes it can be one to too many. You should be capable of handling. When Gandhiji had to address initially and he had to build the confidence in his followers that we could chase Britishers out of India, it was not an easy task. But yes, his interpersonal skills was amazing. But he never hesitated when it was one person who was there whom he had to address, or whether it was a group that he had to address, or it was many that he had to address, or it was so many that he had to address, or it was the biggest public forum that he had to address. His intrapersonal skills was excellent. It did not change at all. So when I say intrapersonal skills, the way I prepare my entire network of parts in order to communicate with the outside world, that is called as intrapersonal skills. The way I can actually coordinate my languaging with my body, the way I can use my body language, my hand gestures, my listening skills, my mental abilities, the way I can pick up certain facts, the way I can always use my entire body, all this is considered as intrapersonal skills. So I should have the skill set of how I could use my body in the right way. So these are called as intrapersonal skills. Why interpersonal skills are also important is, I cannot communicate onto the outside world about smoking is injurious to health and smoking needs to be stopped without myself having following that. I will never be able to put it across in a very dynamic manner so that it hits the right chord. It will not be possible. So first I have to understand my intrapersonal skills, and based on that only I can go out and start expressing my interpersonal skills. I am not a good cricketer. I know nothing about cricket. It is what I call intrapersonal skills. I cannot go out and start actually putting it across to people, telling them how important cricket is, what are the different types of batting that could be done, who can become the best batsman, who can become the best bowler. No, I will never be able to say. So the first thing what I will have to do is, can you introspect yourself and do what is called as SWOT analysis, SWOT. Can you identify your strengths? Based on your strengths, can you start working on your interpersonal skills? I'm afraid of water. I've never touched water. Now I will do thesis on what is called as swimming. Will it work? It doesn't work. Because my intrapersonal skill says this is not my cup of a tea. Lata Mangeshkar cannot guide about cricket because it is not her intrapersonal skills. At the same time, Tendulkar cannot guide about singing because that is not his intrapersonal skills. So, people very neatly define, if at all your hobby is something that you like and admire it from the bottom of your heart, then that hobby should be your profession, you will be successful. Again, I am repeating it, if at all you have a hobby that is very dear to your heart, nothing else comes between you and your hobby, then that should become your profession. Your life is going to be like a picnic, your life is going to be like an heaven. On the reverse, something which you ate from your bottom of your heart and it was never your hobby, it was never your like, somewhere on that side when you will have to work, your intrapersonal skills will not support. So, do an introspection about your skill set and then choose the right kind of career. That is where career counseling is done. Who is a career counselor? A career counselor is the one who talks to the student and identifies his intrapersonal skills and then tells him, because of these intrapersonal skills, you can become these, because you can develop these interpersonal skills which you already have, you can polish them. So an introspection is required to understand my skill sets. If I have an handicapness, that also should not hinder my interpersonal skills. I am very dark looking. I don't have a good body. I don't have even that 9-pack and 6-pack. I can never imagine having those packs. I don't have a very broad chest. I don't have a head which actually balances with my body. I am having a very dark complex. And people will advise, please don't get into the industry of film. It's not going to work for you. And please don't think of any time becoming a hero, because that will definitely not suit you. And after all these advice that was given in intrapersonal skills, this man introspected himself and saw one thing in him that was different compared to anybody else in the world. That was his style. People loved his style. As a conductor, people loved the way he tossed the cigar and he used to put it in his mouth, and the way he could light the match and then actually light his cigar. That was such fascinating, and that one skill set, that only one skill set which he held on. It is not important if the world has given so many skill sets. If I have one such skill set, with that I can rule the world. These were the lines that we also will have to adopt to, because all of the time, how are we handling every situation? We are always scribbling about what skill sets we don't have. We will never look at whatever skill sets we have. With that one thing, we can win this world. Bruce Lee very clearly writes in one of the books, and this is being made as a poster, and he says, I never used to fear a person who has actually mastered many kicks. I always fear one person who has only mastered one kick, and that kick is going to change the way you look at the match decision. So that is how you will have to. Rajini sir's only skill set was his style, and after that slowly he developed all his other interpersonal skills. Slowly everything else gets automatically attracted. Now that we have understood interpersonal skills, what is our objective for today's class? We will see what is interpersonal skills, what are the components of interpersonal skills, how to improve our interpersonal skills. All of us cannot be good in all the skill sets. Please remember this. If that was the case, it was easy for God to create duplicates. But God never wanted to create duplicates. God always created unique beings. No two fruits from the same tree will taste the same. No two leaves from the same tree is going to be alike, and no twins will always be similar. Their whatever you call footprint is different, their voice impression is different, their retina is different. So God does not believe in duplicates. So you should also not compare yourself with the skill set what others have. Tendulkar cannot get into depression knowing that Lata Mangeshkar can sing beautifully. Lata Mangeshkar should not get into depression the way Tendulkar plays his cricket. His skill set is this, your skill set is yours. You are different, he is different, because God only creates unique things. God only creates that masterpiece, and each and every one of us are that masterpiece. Let us have this self-image. Excellent self-image also is called as an interpersonal skills. With whatever you are, if you can go and present yourself, forgetting about the past, that is called as excellent self-image. You should have that self-esteem. You should not be worried about what the world is going to say. I am like this. With he and me put together, miracles are possible. Let me get in. You can do miracles. Now, how to improve interpersonal skills? First, we will do a SWOT analysis of what are our strengths. We take up 15 such interpersonal skills and we will start putting it one after the other, what you will have to do as an assignment, and we will start giving it grading between 0 to 10. And wherever you think I can improve, wherever is your strength, can I make it much stronger? That is called as improving your strengths, which becomes your assets. And if you have certain weaknesses, S stands for strength, W stands for weaknesses, weaknesses will become a strength. Can I work on my weaknesses, or for my weaknesses, can I actually take somebody else who can replace that weaknesses? Beautiful. I'm not good at driving. You need not be a driver. You are an engineer. You appoint a driver. Your job will be done. I'm not a good cook. I will not get upset because of that. I'll get a good cook who is going to cook for me. Beautiful. I'm not an excellent singer. You need not be. There are a lot of singers who sing. You just listen to them, enjoy them. You cannot be master of everything. If you try to do, that means you are not human. You are that superhuman. So all of us know we are human. So we should have certain weaknesses also. That is the reason in an interview, a best personality is if a person knows what his weaknesses is. People ask you in the interview, what are your strengths and weaknesses? That is only to identify whether you know what you don't know. When you know what you don't know, you can work on it. But if you pretend you know, half knowledge is always dangerous. You will not like it now. You get into the operation theatre and the surgeon wakes you up. I don't know whether I can do this operation or not. Do you like it? No. And you go to the pilot who is about to take off and he says, excuse me, I think I don't know how will I be able to take it or not. That doesn't work. He has to say, I have been taking it up every time. It has been 200 times. I will take it up this time also. That confidence has to be there. So we'll try to understand what are this. Just for a definition, I want all of you to write down so that it gets imbibed. What is interpersonal skills? Interpersonal skills are those essential skills that is involved in dealing with and relating to other people largely on a one-to-one basis, one-to-many basis, one-to-too-many basis. You will have to write all the three steps. Some of them are very comfortable doing one-to-one. I have good interpersonal skills. I can talk, but I can only talk with my family members. I can only talk with my colleagues. But when a public speaking comes, no, I cannot. That means on a daily basis, you are not improving your interpersonal skills. You should ask this question from yesterday to today, on which vertical of interpersonal skills have I started growing? If you are not growing, you should introspect before going to bed and tell, today I have not lived a human life. Why? You have not worked on your interpersonal skills. So please make a note of it. Interpersonal skills are those essential skills involved in dealing with and relating to other people largely on a one-to-one basis, one-to-many basis, one-to-too-many basis. Today when Modi comes onto the dais and he says, Kal everybody will come and you will light a diya, the people are ready to follow it. Why? Is interpersonal skills, the energy and the kind of achievements that he has done has taken to that power that at a moment when he comes and he says from tomorrow 1000 will not be used and it is going to be demonetized. Yes, people are ready to accept this. Yes, for that to happen, he has built that trust in every one of us. Interpersonal skills also, can you actually create a trust in that audience who are listening to you? Whether it is one-to-one, whether it is one-to-many, whether it is one-to-too-many. If it is one person whom you want to talk, in your relatives only you have one person. Yeah, we will take Ravi. He can convince him. Then he says, how many people you need to convince? One. Yeah, Ravi can do. There are around 5. Ravi can't handle. Why? Ravi's skill set is only talking on one-to-one basis. If Ravi is given 5 of them, Ravi can't handle. Then you will have to bring another trainer. He's a fast bowler, then you will have to take Tendulkar only. Is he a spinner? Then you will have to take Yuvraj Singh only. So like that, our skill sets will define the domain that we can attack. So if I keep working on my skill sets, my domain also starts growing larger and larger. That is what I call comfort domain and uncomfort domain. And on a daily basis, are you planning to expand your domain? If you are planning to expand your domain, that means you are working in the right direction. Is the video okay? It's happening? Okay.
Slightly.
Can you?
Okay.
Yeah, one of you can organize. So, it has to be tilted. You want it back?
No, it is okay.
Now, this is what I told. On a daily basis, when I talk about interpersonal skills, am I capable of actually expanding my domain? Today, I am having one hotel. I am comfortable here. What is the best intrapersonal skills? Tomorrow, I should have one more hotel. And day after tomorrow, I should have one more hotel. And after some years, I should have my own chain of hotels. So if I need to have my own chain of hotels, that means my interpersonal skills have worked. Dhirubhai Ambani, he first was actually running one small business. He was capable of doing, but he did not keep quiet. He expanded his interpersonal skills. He thought this entire domain has to be expanded. He went on starting 2 companies. He did not stop at 2 companies. He went on starting 3 companies. By the time he could actually say bye to every one of us, he had 100 companies under his bouquet. So, do you have the capabilities of starting one-to-one, going on to one-to-many, and ultimately from many can you read so many? That is your ultimate goal, because there is no end. It is full stop. If it is full stop, add one more dot, 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 to be continued. Your life on a daily basis should be to be continued. But ask yourself this question. For many verticals, you have already put a full stop. Hey, slim, no, not required, full stop. Hey, stomach ko andar lena, hey, not required, full stop. Air falling ho raha hai, kuch to dhyan rakho, no, not required, full stop. For most of the times in life, you have already put full stop. Romance, kya romance, bachon ka dekhbhal karna hai, full stop. Exercise, kya exercise? There is a saying in Kannada, Kaad ba antide. That means forest is calling me, and my life is saying go to the forest. That means the death is near. And what do you expect me to do? So like that, in most of the skill sets where all of us can grow, including me, we have started to put full stops. Instead of adding putting a comma and then saying continue, or putting a dot dot and then saying to be continued, our life has to be like that. It has to be continued. So let us work on these skill sets. When I say interpersonal skills, we also call it one of the best skill sets in interpersonal skill set is the ability to communicate. It could be verbally, it could be non-verbally. Very important interpersonal skills. What I mean by the way ability to communicate and interact with another person with verbal, without verbal. Most of the time, all of us know that the power of audio is less compared to power of video. So, the best way of exhibiting good and excellent interpersonal skills is, can I walk the talk? Whatever I am doing, if I can actually walk it, that is beautiful. Most of the time, most of our disciplines is only in the talk. It is not in action. When your kids don't see it in action, they don't follow. Most of it, we always put it for reading. We will never follow it in action. Let me share a beautiful story so that you understand what I mean. See, here is a father who was reading a newspaper and he was very busy reading a newspaper. He is my friend. I happened to go and meet him. As soon as I knock the door, he is busy reading the newspaper, and all of a sudden the daughter says, "Papa, uncle has come." And I go and sit. He knows I am a PD trainer. So what this little girl observes is, because it was a Republic Day, there was this 4 lions, our national emblem, and just below that it was written, "Satyameva Jayate." As soon as she read that, she could not read because it was written in Sanskrit, Hindi. So he goes up to Papa and says, Papa, what is this written here? And he says, hey, it is Satyameva Jayate. He wanted to explain it because I was sitting there. He wanted to say he can also explain. And she asked, the daughter asked the father, Papa, what do you mean by Satyameva Jayate? Satyameva Jayate means ultimately truth only will win. When he is expressing that, all of a sudden a call comes, and he has kept a caller tone as barking dog. You also know, I also know, whom do we keep caller tone as barking dog? When our boss calls. For our boss, we keep the caller tone as barking bar and bow, 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 bow. It says, I also know it is his boss. He also know it is his boss. I also know he is my boss. And the wife who was cooking, she's smiling and she also knows it is his boss. And the daughter also knows it is his boss. Immediately the father says, because he was explaining her daughter Satyameva Jayate, ultimately truth shall win, she shouts and he says, excuse me, oh darling, please, yes. She says, what? You pick up the call and you tell him he's in the restroom. And again the daughter asks, Papa, what do you mean by ultimately truth shall win? That means what should we do? You should always be truthful, my daughter. Again it starts ringing. And again he says, excuse me, how many times I should tell you, yeah, please pick up the call and you tell him he's going to come to office, don't trouble him so much. You tell him I am in the restroom. And again, Papa, ultimately we should tell the truth and always we should tell the truth. Yes, ma. You should never lie even to small things. Sometimes you lie, you eat 2 chocolates and you say I ate 1 chocolate. You say you woke up at 7 o'clock and actually you would have woken up at 7:15. All this is bad. Satyameva Jayate. Then again, Papa, Satyameva Jayate. But Papa, why are you lying your boss? And there was pin drop silence at home. जो हम करे सो सही, जो दूसरे करे वो गलत. That is not going to be your interpersonal skills. It has to be always common. So whatever we say, ability to communicate, your ability to communicate non-verbally is more than your ability to communicate verbally. I would have given a 1-hour lecture about why you should not smoke, why you should not drink. Today in the evening when you visit one place, you see me there with a cigar in the hand, with a bottle of whiskey in my hand. The entire personality of mine gets punctured, and verbally you would have communicated so many beautiful things, but non-verbally you have smashed everything. So people follow what they see more than what they listen. The power of listening is less compared to power of seeing, because power of seeing is automatically happening for the subconscious state and it is more powerful, it goes deep inside than the audio. Let us do a small exercise. Let me see how many of you are good in listening skills. All of you stretch your hands, keep your hands straight, stretched. Okay, for whatever reason, you should not bend it. Is that clear? For whatever reason, you should not bend it. For every count of odd number, you will have to clap. For every count of odd number. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What did I say? For every count of odd number, you should not clap. Is that clear? Keep your hands straight. For every count of odd number. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sir is not clapping only. Again, you should clap, but for every odd number. Ready, steady, go. Look at me. Ready, steady, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. You did the reverse. Odd number means 1, 3, 5, 7. Now I have instructed you. Ready, steady, go. Keep it straight. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why? The power of audio, what you are listening, 1, 3, 5, 7 is very low compared to power of what you see. When you see me clap, your tendency is, without your conscious mind knowing what you are doing, your subconscious mind simply claps. So, when I say interpersonal skills, the ability to communicate non-verbally and the ability to interact with another person verbally and non-verbally, all this put together is called as interpersonal skills. Please make a note of it. The ability to communicate or interact, the ability to communicate and interact verbally or non-verbally, communicate and interact verbally or non-verbally with another person is called interpersonal skills. With another person is called interpersonal skills. But today the interpersonal skills is being packaged and called in different names. Vigneshwara, Vakratunda, Ganesha, okay, Gajanana. We have called it different names. In the same manner, interpersonal skills is being referred in different names. Sometimes we say social skills. Generally, social skills means how you can socialize with others. It could be humans, it could be non-humans. Your socialization with your pet animals, your socialization with other people, your socialization sometimes with belongings also. So sometimes you should not be surprised. If somebody says, hey, my darling is outside, is it okay if I leave her out? And I am asking, which darling is outside? Your wife, have you left her outside? Hey, bring her, she's going to shout at me. No, not that darling, yeah. My other darling, she's outside, is it okay? Then I say, which darling, pa? My BMW car. That means sometimes our association with even things are so sacred. That is Indianism. We don't only have human relation, we also have tool relation. This is my Ayuda. I can never be without him. You can never think of Rama without his Bana. You can never think of Hanuman without Rama in him. So that is how our human relationship is that. So social skills is how we actually have skill sets of colliding ourselves with people, colliding ourselves with things, colliding ourselves with animals, anything. Okay. Then people skills. People skills means trying to attract people, trying to communicate with people, trying to make them say yes, yes, trying to influence people, trying to hypnotize people, trying to bring out action in people. For all this, yes, people skills is required. If Subhash Chandra Bose wasn't a very good orator, people wouldn't have agreed. And he was not an ordinary orator. Once they say interpersonal skills, you should have all three. You should have passive communication skills, passive body language skills. You should have assertive communication skills, assertive body language skills. You should also have an aggressive, what we call it as communication skills, aggressive body language skills. You can't say, "Arey yaar, mujhe koon de do, main aapko azadi de deta hu." No, people will not listen. He comes and he stands, "Agar aap mujhe koon doge, to main aapko azadi deta hu." So that aggressiveness is required. Only with that aggressiveness I can touch that superconscious state and they say, "हम अपने जान देने के लिए ready है." When I like to fight there and people are coming attacking us, as a major, as a general, I cannot say, "Come on." No, I like to be aggressive and it has to be with action. Come on, let us go, and I should also go in action. So verbal communication, yes. Non-verbally अपना पैर उठा के आगे रखो. When you do that, it works. Interpersonal skills works. Yes, social skills, people skills, emotional skills, life skills, and soft skills. All these are different names that has been given today for interpersonal skills. Just to speak, social skills means how can you socialize with people? Because of this weapon, today social media and the people who got in there first, they are minting money. It was not, if I wouldn't have gone there, I wouldn't have made money. No, if I would have also gone there, I would have also stuck there for some time. I would have also become one Facebook. I would have also become one Twitter. My software would have that capability. It was a simple thought process. Humans are social beings and socializing is always going to be our nature, and using this they developed what is called as social media tools, and today they are making money. Yes. Even online sales is a kind of socializing environment where I go, I select a product and I buy. It is a natural social activity that we express. He says, "I bought something," I go and say, "I bought something." So using this as a nature, people are actually making money. So we'll talk about social skills, people skills, emotional skills. A good leader or a good team participant is the one who can understand each other's emotion. Just because I am a non-vegetarian, I can not force non-vegetarian onto everybody else. I should understand their emotion. Just because I am given an opportunity to talk, I cannot speak on one particular personality which one of them may not like and he may not find it comfortable. I should be emotional towards him. Yes, ladies are there, they have their own nature of how their body actually reacts to certain situation. I should be emotional towards them. If they say, I need to go, sir, you should allow them to go. So, being empathetic and being emotional is important. Failure is a part of life. You know, that is one of the interpersonal skills what you have developed by telling it's okay to fail multiple times. But that is only for you. But when you are a boss and somebody else fails, you pick up a cane. You would have also got in most of the subjects less marks. But when your son gets a less marks, you pick up a stick. How dare you get so less marks? Have you ever seen into your marks card? You have also failed. Learn the emotional skills because he is already shattered because the marks has come low. Can you become that emotional cushioning so that they know that what they have done is a mistake? Allow them to save their face so that they can always rise up and jump back and bounce back. Most of the good leaders allow them to do that. They will not pick it up from them. People thought the moment Chandrayaan 2 was a failure, a leader would come and will say enough of investment on Chandrayaan 1 and 2 already done, nothing called as Chandrayaan 3. He could have gone there and he could have actually taken out everything from them. But a great leader is the one who goes there. Look at his interpersonal skills. He asks them and says, it's okay to fail. Emotional skills. If you can be empathetic, nothing like it. People will be ready to give their life for the sake of you. And these great ladies of Chandrayaan 3 did the same thing. They believed in the trust that was expressed, and interpersonal skills that was expressed by present Prime Minister, and there was no looking back at all. Yes, life skills. Every life-saving skills is a skill set that you will have to develop. It includes all these put together. So when I say interpersonal skills, it is people skills. When I say interpersonal skills, it is social skills. When I say interpersonal skills, it's emotional skills. When I say interpersonal skills, it is life skills. Sometimes in IT we call it as soft skills. All package put together, soft skills. North Indian meals is skills. Roti, curry, sweet, upma, uppinkai, whatever, skills. South Indian, again skills. If there is any Middle Indian, that also would have been a skill. So, all this is a bouquet of skills which comes under what we call interpersonal skills. But, when I speak about interpersonal skills, one of the main influencer of an interpersonal skills, yes, if you have a strong verbal communicator, if you are a very good verbal communicator, nothing like it. But along with that, non-verbal also is very, very important. Most of us do not understand. Good interpersonal skills are those with strong verbal and non-verbal communications. Because most of the time what happens, you cannot think that words that is being uttered by us is not what influences the audience. Most of us have this inhibition. Let me share a beautiful slide which I wanted to express, because there are certain things which we can call it as a myth. Myth means it is not true, and there are certain things which we can call it is a reality. So when we talk about influences of speakers, see what most of us thought. Right now also, if I say next week at the same time we will have a small presentation, all of you will have to come, you will have to speak for just 1 minute. I give you a topic. It could be Israel-Hamas war. You go today and start looking for Google, collect all the documents, you do it. Again I ask you, have you done some practices? No sir, I'm still collecting information. And then next day I ask you, no sir, I'm still collecting the information. Today is Tuesday, Wednesday collecting information, Thursday collecting information, Friday collecting information, Saturday still collecting, Sunday also collecting, Monday also collecting, Tuesday you say, sir, early morning I'll start preparing. And then what you would have done, in the 100% of the time, 99% of the time you are spent only in looking for the right words and right points. But will that influence the audience? Yes. But how much percentage? Do you know how much percentage? Nil. Then what is that in your influences? Intrapersonal skills is that people speak technical terms, but will it actually set an impression in them? No. What really sets an impression? Look, 7% is the words. Whatever the words you were looking for, that is only 7%. Words are only labels, and the listeners put their own interpretation of the speaker's words. Then what is that is more important? What is more important is paralinguistic, which is 38%. To make it understandable, we'll call it as 40%. 40% is paralinguistic, the way in which something is said. I am telling certain things in a certain way, that is actually setting an impression on you. So, the way in which something is said, the accent, the tone, the voice modulation is very, very important. That is 40%. And the rest 60% is what? What a speaker looks like while delivering the message, what is his body language, how the listener takes the message and passes it on to the audience is what makes all the difference. It is not mere words that is traveling from me to you. It is the words which is carrying that emotion. Can you transfer that emotion? If I am able to transfer that emotion, I am excellent verbal and non-verbal communicator. If I cannot transfer that emotion, I have failed miserably. So this is what is called as a reality. Most of the time we keep on searching for words, We give very less importance on paralinguistic and body language. This is what you guys will have to work. So next time when an opportunity is given, don't ever go. Pick up whatever 5 points you have. That 5 points you practice it so many number of times that your 99% of the time should be spent on this, and picking up 5 points should not be taking time at all. So that is how you will have to understand. And when we are talking about paralinguistic, there is one more thing which I wanted to actually express. Most of the time, you think what exactly influences the audience. See, initially, yesterday also, last time when I came, as soon as I walked in, you looked at me and you had an expression, I think his little age, no, he looks a little, and preliminary analysis. When you go onto the dais, or when I come onto the dais, and when I meet you for the first time, your analysis will be, what kind of age? I think he looks little quite young, let me see what he's going to do. Background, oh, he says he's doctorate, he says he has done his MTech, he says he has done his engineering, let me see, his attitude seems to be good, he's not talking to anybody, he simply came, he sat. This is what is your preliminary analysis. Appearance, not so good looking, not so bad looking also. Okay, you have that, and maybe the context, we will have to listen, we will listen. We have not come for listening to him only. Today you would have come. Why? Because I have set an impression. Today you would have come, hey, that's Sir's class. Maybe it will be quite interesting. You would have already set an impression. Or, that's Sir's class, again we are going to be bored for 2 hours. Both the impression can be set. So, this is my preliminary analysis. Actually, when I start presenting, none of this will matter. When a chaiwala comes onto the dais, the chaiwala does not matter. After that, what he speaks, that is what is going to remain in the audience. Till then, we thought, how will this chaiwala rule the country? A tribal woman, every time an opportunity was given to become a panchayat leader also, people thought, this woman will do. I don't know what kind of people become leaders today. When she went for a panchayat meeting, the first time when she spoke, people could not believe themselves. They did not know how dynamic this lady was. She spoke such beautiful words which got into the heart and it went from outside. Some of them leave certain words, it goes here, penetrates and it goes out. You will not know at all. It will give you an handshake, it will give you a shivering experience. Yes, that is what happens after you speak. And then the next opportunity, there also people ridiculed her. She's going to become the governor now. Then afterwards, there was no looking back. The shotman is going to bat. After that, there's no looking back. After centuries, everything else will change. So, initial analysis will be this. Afterwards, the loudest way to tell the world, shut up, is show results. When you show results, the entire world will simply listen. World Cup jeet ke aa gaya na Dhoni. First match, he really lost. People spoke so many bad things about him. and they are still ashamed why they spoke those words. People who are so close to him right now also spoke those days. And after he won the World Cup, it was only how he played, his smiles, his black, his moments, his sounds. That is what is required today. Interpersonal skill is not this. Interpersonal skill is this. Nelson Mandela, how does he look? Not age, not background, not attitude, not appearance, not contacts. When he speaks, when he says, is it coming from the heart or is it coming from the mind? Facial expressions, smiles, blanks, movements, sounds, all this makes a lot of difference. You should also know this. And one of the best and very, very important in communication is, can you do what is called as 5-dimensional communication? Because most of the time what happens when we speak, we just simply speak. Speaking just leaves an audience with some words, and those words will not influence their subconscious mind, and subconscious mind will not be ready. Speaking is, can you give them a 5-dimensional speech? What is that 5-dimensional speech? When you speak, they should be able to see what you see. When you speak, they should be able to listen to whatever you listen. And when you speak, they should be able to taste what you are tasting. When you speak, they should be able to feel what they are feeling. And when you give this 5-dimensional approach, the touch, the seeing, the smell, the hearing, the taste, then your communication is successful. I'll do it right now. I'll tell you one incident. I always remember this incident. See, I and my cousin sister, both of us are engineers. As soon as she completed engineering, they actually looked for the best match, and they also got an M.Tech student who was very, very brilliant, very, very smart, and the alliance was done. I have also completed engineering. I am also of the same age, but my cousin, who was also of the same age, she was already engaged and the marriage was done. It was an occasion where she had to be relieved from her parents' house and she had to go to her in-laws' house. It is not that she had never gone to her in-laws' house. In-laws' house also is in Bangalore. She has gone multiple times. But that day it was a ritual, and in that ritual what they do, for the first time when they are letting go her daughter, they don't want her daughter to go alone. They look for one more sister of the bridegroom, and then they try to send her with them. But it so happened, because they did not find any girl, I was just sitting there, everybody was looking at me. And I told, I'm not going to go. I'm not a girl to go. I don't want to go. Then they told, nothing doing, you will have to go. I told, I don't want to go. And slowly my aunt started crying. My mother started crying. And I thought, why are you? And immediately I look at my sister. She is rubbing her eyes. And she also, I could see the tears in her eyes. And I told, why are you crying? I'll come. Tomorrow morning I'll come back. Then she told, no. Then I told, no, I'll come. You don't cry. Then I went, the father-in-law in the front seat, the driver was there, mother-in-law in another car, and my brother-in-law is here. I was in the middle, and my cousin sister is here. Both of them are looking like I am the kebab mein addi. Then I looked at both of them. I never wanted to come. You cried, so I came. But immediately what my sister told, idiot, why boys will not at all mature on time. I did not cry because you are not coming. I cried because something got into my eyes. They threw something, those rice, that cotton powder got inside. I was rubbing and some tears came out. That's all. I did not cry because you are not coming. Why will I cry? I've gone to she called him idiot only. I've gone to this idiot house multiple times. Why will I hesitate to go now? Then she said, father-in-law is there, silent. You understood the situation? No, my kebab mein addi ban gaya. But still, somehow I told I'll go out. My mother, my aunt, everybody is with the rifle, with their eyes ready. If I would have stepped down, there Ganga Nadi will go, Kaveri will flow. Then I told, nothing doing. I got into the car and I told, early morning I'm coming. They told, okay. So I went and they gave me a separate room and I was sleeping there. Early in the morning I got up around 6 o'clock. I just wanted to leave and I thought afterwards I'll call them and say I'm going to come. Somehow my sister was thinking that for the first time I have come to their in-laws house, which is her house as of now, as per the rituals. She never wanted me to send back without offering anything, because her mother had told, Mallika, please don't send him without giving him anything. And what shall I do? She was telling, he likes jamun, I give him jamun, he will love it. Then early in the morning I got up and I was about to leave. My sister told, no leaving, you will have to have breakfast. I told, I'm not going to wait for breakfast. Your favorite jamun I have prepared. I and jamun, we are very close. If somebody shows me jamun from far away also, I'll simply enter that house. So I am fond of jamun. The way I and jamun are friendly, you will never find any other sweets so friendly with anybody else. As soon as I told, she told okay, then I told okay, please give me. Then she told wait for 15 minutes, everybody will come. We went to the dining table, I am sitting here, my brother-in-law is sitting here, and my brother-in-law's father and mother are sitting, and my sister came with the jamun, two jamuns for them. For me, she built up a pyramid, 4 jamuns on that 1 jamun. She gave it to me. Everybody is breaking it. I don't want to break it also. I don't want to use spoon also. If I give it to spoon, spoon will eat. So what I did, I always pick up the jamun like this. I cut it off and I start slowly chewing it. And then closing my eyes, I swallow it so that I can feel the entire fragrance, the smell, everything in me. I completed the first jamun. People are staring at me. I told, don't mind. I and jamun, I don't want anybody. And my sister told, he loves jamun, that is the way he eats. I picked up one more jamun, second one. I cut it off. Somehow I was not comfortable because I got some sound, kachak. When it was kachak, I did not know. If I open my eyes, the jamun taste and the fragrance and that feeling of oneness, everything will go. So I did not open. I started chewing, and I gulped it. Every time I was chewing, kachak, 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 something was coming. Then after I gulped, something told me, look, look, look. When I looked, half of the jamun is there, but in the half, the tail is wagging, lizard tail. That means half of the lizard I had already eaten. People who were sitting in front of me, they puked. They puked so fastly, and I'll stop the discussion there. Now if I offer you jamun, will you eat? You will say, no sir. For the next 1 year, I don't want to eat jamun. You go home. Your wife will offer you jamun. You will break it and see if there is anything, and then you will have. What I did was a 5-dimensional communication. My sister did not get married because I never have a cousin sister of my age. She did not go to her Maike. Yes, she did not. If she would have gone also, she definitely wouldn't have called me. But the way I expressed, I made you eat jamun with me. I made you taste that lizard with me. And I also made your subconscious take a stand. From today, I will not eat jamun. If I want a smoker to become a non-smoker, I should convince them with 5-dimensional emotions. Hey, stop smoking. It doesn't work. आप मुझे खून दो, मैं आपको आज़ादी देता हूँ. It doesn't work. One of the very important interpersonal skills is the skills. You will have to develop that. In your kids also develop it. Put them into TEDx talk. Take them onto the dais. Make them actually speak there. Because the only way you can actually face a fear and the only way you can actually show confidence is, can you handle fear of public speaking? Why fear of public speaking has to be handled? Because as per the research, the biggest fear, the third biggest fear is death. You thought death is the first biggest fear? No. Death is the third biggest fear. And the second biggest fear is snakes. And the first biggest fear is public speaking. If you yourself and for your kids, if you can get them into this habit of, I can go on the dais and simply talk. I can actually go and speak in public forum. That is the greatest gift that you can give, because that gift will actually improve your interpersonal energy to very high level that you will start doing everything in your life rightly. Why? Because you have conquered the biggest fear. What was the biggest fear? Public speaking, and I conquered it. How do I conquer? I also told you in confidence building. Every time when I actually do or try something new, there is a fear. Fear is an indication that I am trying something new. Every time you expand your domain, today I am addressing you, tomorrow if you give me an audience of 50, my domain is expanded. Yes, interpersonal skills domain has to be expanded on a daily basis, and other domains also should be captured. You should not become a frog in the pond. You should not become that lazy bug who is going to be within the pond, a lazy frog within the pond, and he thinks that is the ocean. No. A tribal woman could have lived in that tribal place and she could have told, this is enough for me, my life is enough. A chaiwala could have remained in that compartment, in that station, and he would have put his own chai shop and he would have never become the greatest leader the world sees. Why? Because they never actually got into statue mode. They were dynamic enough to expand their domain. So you should also start expanding your domain. Yes, face the fear. If you face the fear comes down. If you are going to fear the fear becomes bigger. So the best example I told you, whenever I go on the dais, I feel uncomfortable. Whenever I want to go to my boss cabin, I feel uncomfortable. I know there is a fear. Whenever I need to go to the dark space, I feel uncomfortable. You know, how do you handle it? Use experts' advice, use consultants' advice, and you take a leap so that you go and start handling it step by step. Little by little and little by little, the Britishers conquered half of the world. Little by little, Alexander conquered half of the world. Little by little, Maurya dynasty was expanded even after Afghanistan. People don't speak about that. People speak about the great Alexander. Alexander ka itna hai. Maurya dynasty itna tha. We are only speaking about this, we are not speaking about this. So, experience the fear, acknowledge the fear. मुझे डर लग रहा है. बॉस की कैबिन में जाने में डर लग रहा है. इंसर्ट 3 डर लग रहा है. लेकिन डर के साथ if I am going to go, that is called as courageous. I will show I am courageous. I will take experts' opinion. I will take experts' advice. I will take experts' help and I will do it. Explore the fear. Act confident. Explore the fear. And slowly you will start enjoying the fear. First time somebody pushes you with a parachute on your back, you are reluctant to come. You came out of fear. Second time you came out of fear. Third time you are not fear. There is no fear, you are enjoying it. You will have to give time for the fear to automatically go. If you don't give it time, it will become monstrous. It will come again and again, again and again. Wait for it to react in your body, you wait for it to react in your mind, and slowly you will be able to conquer. This is one of the best way to build up your interpersonal skills. Yes, confidence building is also one of them. Yeah, whenever we talk about this good interpersonal skills are those who are strong verbal and who are also strong non-verbal. Both the points what I told, they are often considered to be essential skills to be successful in life. You should be a very good verbal communicator and a non-verbal communicator. I say health is important. Every day you will have to exercise. Am I exercising? Am I doing it? Satyameva jayate, ultimately truth shall win. When the boss calls, you pick up the call and you say, sir, yes sir, we'll be reaching the office, sir. It may take another 15 minutes time. I'll have to drop my daughter for a flag hoisting ceremony in her school. Is that okay, sir? Thank you, sir. Keep it. That is how you will have to handle. So, they are often considered to be essential, very, very essential skills for you to become successful. But let us also understand what are the range of interpersonal skills. All these, whatever we are going to discuss, all these are called as interpersonal skills. Yes, active listening skills. You should be a good listener because when you listen, the solution will be there in those words only. When a question is asked, in the question itself there will be a solution, and most of the time we don't go there. We fear the question and we run away, but when you would have faced it confidently, within the question you will get answers. So active listening skills is very, very important, because sometimes verbally what they say and actually what they mean will be completely different. So as a detective, as a scholar, as an as an intuitive reader, you should be able to understand and listen through their body language and mean what he says is a truth and what he says is not a truth. There are certain experts, you are telling a lies, they say. Why? Because of your body language. Your finger is going on your nose, your hairs are going on your back, slowly your hands are going behind your ears. You're tense. How will I know? You are actually rubbing your hand. I can make out, that means you're tense. So when I say active listening not only through your ears, and also observing the body language when a person is talking. That can actually speak lot of things without words. So that is very important. Teamwork, team building, we have always been covering. Can you work in a team? I took an example of lot of people. Every person who has actually won great achievements, it is always a teamwork. Do you have the team building skills in you, and do you have the attitude to work in a team? Both are called as interpersonal skills. I can actually be a leader, but I cannot work as a team. It doesn't work. A leader is the one who should be down to earth, submissive, without any superiority complex, not treating anybody as inferior and not treating himself as superior. If you have these kind of qualities, that is called as excellent interpersonal skills. We'll be talking about that. Teamwork, and you should be the one who should be ready to take responsibility, even in small to small things. Somebody calls and says, can you see to it everybody comes by 2 o'clock so that the session starts at 2? It's your moral responsibility. You call them, you persuade them, give them an alert message, see to it they come at 3. Yes, that leadership skills you should be ready to take up. When you take up small responsibilities and when you execute it and start giving results, automatically bigger responsibility will automatically come. Dhoni need not have thought about whether I can become a test match captain, at least in the coming 10 years, because that is the minimum experience what people quote. Can I become a one-day international? Because the minimum period is around 8 to 9 years. Nobody asked him these questions, because the loudest way the world could actually keep themselves shut is by actually Dhoni's results. When Dhoni gave that World Cup results, there was no looking back. Slowly, higher responsibilities will start coming. Sometimes responsibilities comes on to you by, actually it's a gift from God, it comes. But sometimes when that responsibilities come, if you don't execute leadership qualities, slowly that responsibilities will pass out and it will go to a new person. There was this elder son of this particular family, but he was not ready to take any responsibility. Slowly what happened, every time he missed out an opportunity of taking a responsibility, slowly his younger brother started taking every such responsibility which was not taken by the elder brother. And the day came when they had to look for a leader within their family. They did not decide the man who was aged and who was actually eligible to become a leader. Then they looked at the capabilities of his younger brother, which was much more, so they made him a leader. So even in Ramayana, when we talk about Mahabharata, it was supposed to be Duryodhana who was supposed to be the king, naturally speaking. But there also, based on the capabilities, when they had to decide who is going to become the king, it was Yudhishthira who was ready from all the sides. So they decided Yudhishthira is going to become. Yes, but when that responsibility was given, did you manage that responsibility with uttermost care and with uttermost responsibility? If you have done, yes, more bigger responsibilities will come. He was successful as a chief minister, he becomes the prime minister. He was successful handling small projects. The big project was given to the director who was in charge of what we call Chandrayaan 3. Small projects become successful, automatically bigger projects will start pouring. You should have excellent leadership skills. Leadership is the one who will stand in the front and lead. Always remember, leaders means they are only leading from the front. Leaders should not have this superiority complex that people are followers. No, I'm just helping them and leading them from the front. That is there. You should be a motivator. You will have to be a motivator. As a leader, if at all the class is at 6 o'clock, you will have to make it a point that you come by 5 and keep everything ready so that you can influence and motivate others to come on time. If I want to influence others to donate blood, you should be the first person to donate blood. If I want others to be motivated to stop smoking, you should be the person who shouldn't have smoked at all. So like that, can you take up leadership responsibilities and walk the talk of your leadership skills? Not just बोलने के लिए सत्यमेव जयते. Yes, motivation is required. Leadership also requires motivation. And you should be flexible enough. You can't stand with one thumb rule. This. Sometimes you should be flexible. A good leader, a good interpersonal skills is that we are flexible enough to bend and twist and then go forward. It is a mountain. I cannot go like this. So I need to be ready and flexible so that I can take my car this way, and the roads are made this way, this way, this way, this way, and 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 then I go on the top of the Tirumala temple. So am I flexible? Flexibility is very, very important. As a captain, I will lead from the front. As an opener, I will lead from the back. As a wicket keeper, sometimes if I need to bowl, I will bowl also. And sometimes I need to rest myself, I'll rest myself also. Flexibility, that is captainship. दुनिया आज सब लोग डरे हुए हैं, आप ही जाके ओपन करो ना, हाँ अपन करेगा. किसी को कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है, अपन करेगा. That is confidence. When somebody had to bell the cat, चाय आया, ठीक है सर. When somebody had to bell the cat, we will pause it here. इसे भी pause करता हूँ. Ear